Hello and welcome to the Confidence Academy podcast. My name is Lily Badcock and I am a transformational confidence coach and founder of the Confidence Academy Members Club. I know that you're stuck in a cycle of feeling anxious, lost and frustrated, but I'm here to tell you that the anxiety you're experiencing is not a weakness. In fact, it's a message. It's a sign that you are a precious soul with an important mission to fulfill. When you stop feeling afraid of the anxiety, you get your power back. You remember just who you are and why you're here. The fact is that the world needs your gifts, and the time to rise is now. Join me as I help you to navigate through those feelings of frustration and anxiety so you can get on with living your life exactly as it was meant to be lived, full of inspiration, fun, and in full alignment with your soul purpose. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Confidence Academy podcast. What are we saying about the new music? Soak it in. I mean, I've said it before, but get some music like this in your ears and go strutting around your life. You're going to be feeling epic. You just can't not. Anyway, I wanted to start off this brand new year on the Confidence Academy podcast because we just celebrated our first anniversary. That's right, it's been 365 days since I launched the very first episode on this podcast, and since then it's been downloaded in multiple countries. I don't even know how many different countries. Oh, the music's kicking off again. It's really off-putting, I can't talk with it. It'll be done in a minute. We've been downloaded all around the world, and I checked earlier and we were nudging 77,000 unique downloads, which is insane. So before I go any further, can I just say an enormous thank you to every single person who has made this podcast the success that it's been, from everyone who's downloaded it and listened to the amazing guest experts that I've been so lucky to interview since we launched a year ago. Oh, okay, that's it for the music. Oh, I thought there was going to be some kind of wind down at the end, but there's not. Here we are. So I wanted to record this episode because, as I said, we've just celebrated the first year of the Confidence Academy podcast. And since that was launched a year ago, so much has changed for me over here in terms of clarity around my message and what it is that I'm here to do, not just on this podcast, but in the world in general. And I want to tell you a story. Now, I also want to say that I recorded this earlier over in the Facebook group, and my plan was to get the audio from that video and create it into a podcast episode. But the technology is beyond me, and I thought, you know what? I could sit here for another hour figuring it out, or I could just record it again. And I just decided to record it again, so here we are. So let me tell you a story. A few weeks ago, I was doing one of my journaling sessions, and if you've listened to me at all, or if you know me at all, you'll know that I do like to journal daily if I can. And this was a particularly epic journaling session that lasted almost 2 hours. And when I finished journaling, I suddenly felt the intense desire to go and get in the shower. And that wouldn't seem so unusual, except it was the middle of the day, and I don't usually take showers in the middle of the day. If I don't get it done first thing in the morning, then I usually wait until later that evening. But this day was different, and so into the shower I hopped. And I really felt like, because the journaling session had been so cleansing, I had dumped so much out of my brain and into the journal, it almost felt like the shower was a bit of a ritual that I had to go through. It was like I was physically cleaning my body, having just mentally cleaned my mind, if that makes any sense at all. So it was already feeling good. And then, as often happens when I'm in the shower, I started to get what I would call downloads. So I get these ideas. I don't know if this happens to you as well, but it seems whenever I'm in the shower, I just get these ideas popping into my head, and it's quite common for me to come leaping out of the shower, dripping wet, trying to find a journal. In fact, I heard somebody say yesterday that you can actually get waterproof journals, which I definitely need in my life, but that's another thing. Anyway, this particular day, the message that dropped in loud and clear was very odd, to say the least. It basically said that I was the welcome committee. In fact, what it actually said was, you are the welcome committee. You are here for the people who are just waking up to their purpose and who know that they are meant to do something big in their life, but maybe have no idea what that is because they've just become aware of it. And I got this image of like a holiday rep. You know, when you go on holiday and you get off the plane and you get the holiday rep who meets you at the airport, and they're always very smart with a clipboard, and then they put you on a coach and they take everybody to their different hotels and they show you around and make sure you don't get lost. Well, I kind of got that image, and so I've been telling people that that's basically what I am, except I am a holiday rep for the universe. And so this was the message that came in. And as I often do, I question these messages when they come in, and I try and dig a bit deeper to find out what they mean. And so I think I can't remember why the journaling session had been so epic, but I can guess that it was probably because I was feeling a little bit unclear, a little bit stuck. That's often what prompts like an epic journaling session. And so I got this download that I was the messenger for these people and that I was the welcome committee and that my purpose was to be there for those people as they wake up to their purpose, almost so I could just say, you know, you're not crazy. You are exactly right. That's why we're here. And I kind of also have this image that almost like we were all in a pod together. I feel like the people who are going to find me and the people who need to hear what I'm saying, I feel like we're all part of the same collective. Like a pod is the only way I can explain it. And it feels like the pod has been activated because it feels like there's a big wave of people who are literally questioning what it is they're doing with their life. And if something doesn't feel right, they're feeling it now more than ever. And so I received this message that I am here for those people. And so I questioned it and I said, but what about the anxiety thing? Because I've felt for so long that this was integral to my purpose and to my mission and my message. And, you know, I basically said, well, you know, did I get that wrong? And what came back was, no, the anxiety is a sign that they have something bigger to do and they are not currently doing it. So the anxiety is a sign that they are not in full alignment with their purpose. And that is completely how it has been for me. I've come to realize over the last few years that a lot of my anxiety and frustration was purely coming from the fact that I was not, first of all, aware of what my mission was, and then second of all, stepping up to it. So I think even in those moments of clarity where I kind of got a grasp on what it is I'm supposed to do, I think then fear took over straight away. I got back into my human mind. I talked myself out of it. I thought it was stupid. I didn't think anyone would listen. I didn't think anyone would want it. I didn't think anyone needed it. I got in my own way, which we're so good at doing. And as I said, talked myself out of it, went back to something that felt comfortable, even if it wasn't completely right. And maybe you can resonate with this. And so the message that came through was, yeah, no, absolutely. You're on the right path with the anxiety thing, because the anxiety is a sign that they have something bigger to do and maybe they're not doing it. So I thought, okay, well, good. So it was more like I was doing the right thing, but I didn't know why I was doing it. And so with that came a lot of clarity, and I felt so fired up after that session. In fact, I did leap out of the shower. I got straight onto a live stream in a private Facebook group that I'm part of. And I told everybody in there what had just happened. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know what this means, but this is what's happened. I'm fired up by it. It feels so unbelievably right. I can't even explain. And they were all very excited. It's quite a wooey group, actually. So, they were ready to hear what I was saying. At that point, I didn't feel brave enough to go public completely with what I'd received. And then what happened next over the coming days that followed and weeks that followed was I started to become aware that when I was having conversations with people, I was acting in a very intuitive way. Very, very often, in fact, almost every single time, I would give somebody some advice, or I would say something that was popping into my head, and they would either tell me that it was exactly what they needed to hear, or in some cases, they would even tell me that what I had said was something they'd been thinking about and hadn't told anybody, which was bizarre to me. I just was like, as I started to realize that this is what was happening, I definitely questioned it. I definitely felt the fear. I definitely thought, whoa, that's crazy even for me. There's definitely no way I can tell anybody about this. I'm going to have to dress it up and make it not so kind of kooky, right? Obviously that doesn't work. And if any of you out there have been trying to dumb down your soul purpose to make other human beings feel more comfortable, I'm going to tell you that shit doesn't work, right? So anyway, more time passed and I was having a conversation with a friend actually, and the same thing happened, and I got what can only be described as a ridiculous download for her. I mean, it was so intense. She said there was smoke coming off her pen as she was trying to write it. She couldn't get the information out quick enough. And both of us by the end of it just felt exhausted but elated at the same time. And I said to her, oh my goodness, I feel like I just birthed your life purpose for you. I'm some kind of spiritual surrogate. And she laughed and she said, that's exactly what you've done, and that's exactly what you are. And so with no more question, I went straight onto Facebook, straight onto all of my platforms, and I just owned it. And I said, I am the spiritual surrogate, and I will intuitively guide you to uncover your true purpose in life, and I will give you the crystal clear clarity that you need and able to step forward, to enable you to step forward. Now, I knew that I could help people with this, but I was still very fearful around doing it. And so I set up a link where people could book a free 30-minute session with me to have an intuitive reading. Because at that point, I was still afraid that if I told people I could do this, they would get on the phone and then I wouldn't be able to do it at all. So I thought if I offer it for free, then I don't have to worry. Well, since that time, I've had so many people download that free call. I've spoken to women all over the world. And by the way, I'm sure this works for men as well, but so far it's been all women that I've spoken to that I've helped. And I don't know, I feel so blessed to be doing it. But every single time I've been gearing up for a call, the same fear has crept in, the same belief pattern. What if you can't do it? What if you get it wrong? What if you fail? What if this person thinks you're an idiot? What if this person tells you that you're absolutely rubbish at what you said you could do? Basically, what if you're wrong? And, that fear's real, isn't it? But luckily, I know better than to listen to that kind of chat. And so I do it anyway. And so far, every single call I have done has had 100% success rate in terms of a hit. And I want to tell you about one in particular that I would say has been my most difficult call so far, because I didn't get it as quickly as I have done with others. There have been people where I've nailed their soul purpose within 10 minutes of being on the phone with me. And these are people I've never met, never heard of, have no idea of their background, who they are, what they do. But it's like I get this in, it's like someone is feeding me the information. But this one particular call that I had, that didn't happen as quickly as it had done on other calls. And I was aware that as the call went on, and I could tell that I wasn't getting it, then that fear monkey mind crept right back in and was like, see, you can't do this. You're not nailing it. This person thinks you're an idiot. And so I could do nothing else but to say what was in my head at that point. And I said to this person, I feel like you already know what your purpose is, but you're waiting for me to say it. And she laughed and said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And then I said, well, okay, but I'm not psychic and I can't read your mind. So I said, all I can do is tell you what's coming into my head. And the next thing I said was, I didn't know why I needed to tell her, but I felt like I needed to let her know that she was safe to be herself, that she didn't need to filter that, and she didn't need to dilute it or water it down or partially cover it. I said, I just feel like I need to tell you that you're safe to be you. And it turns out that she'd written a phrase down before getting on the call with me, and she was waiting for me to say this phrase. And that was her measure of whether I was any good or not, basically. That was her measure of whether I was gonna, of whether I was doing what I said I could do or whether I was a massive flake. And the phrase she wrote down was, be you. And it was just incredible. And so that was the toughest call I've had so far. And even then, I had 100% success rate, although it took me a little longer to get there than other calls. So why am I telling you all of this? Well, when I launched the Confidence Academy 5 years ago, I had no idea what it was going to be. I just knew that my story to that point had been all about losing confidence in an area that I never thought I would struggle, which was singing. And it was all about the anxiety that followed and how I learned to thrive in spite of it. And so I set up the Confidence Academy with that in mind to begin with. And then a year ago, when I launched the podcast, obviously kept the same name. And again, I knew that it was to help people thrive in spite of their anxiety. It was to let them know that their anxiety didn't need to define them, and that those negative feelings they were having did not define who they were, and that they got to live an epic life in spite of that, right? But over the last couple of months and weeks and days, I have become more and more aware of my soul purpose and my reason for being here. And yes, anxiety plays a huge part in that. I still believe this podcast will help with all of the things it said it would right in the beginning. But I feel like it and I have dropped further into purpose. And I understand now that the unshakable confidence I'm here to help you build is not just the surface stuff that we talk about, like showing up on live streams or getting up on stage or, walking into restaurants on your own or showing up in relationships, being confidently you. It's not just that. It's about being who you are at your core and delivering the message you came here to deliver with no fear and with no apology. And that's what building unshakable confidence is actually about. And so moving forward, the Confidence Academy is exactly for those people who know that they have something big to do. It may just feel like a little nudge at the moment. It might just be a little inkling that you've got a little, just a little nudge that there's something more. There has to be something more. And I'm here to tell you that you're not wrong. I'm here to tell you that those things you can see in your mind are meant for you. I'm here to tell you that those dreams you've had that seem completely enormous and way too big are meant for you, and they're possible. And they're possible right now. All that's required is that you start to tune in and listen to your own intuition and then act accordingly. And so I wanted to kick off this brand new series, this brand new year, with that message to let you know that we haven't changed direction. We've just dropped deeper into purpose. And in doing so, I'm now going to help you do the same thing. So thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you so much for your loyalty, for everyone who's downloaded the podcast so far, and for everyone who has supported me on this journey to this point. I am unbelievably excited for where we are now going. And I want to let you know that the Confidence Academy Members Club is still running. They got told quite a few weeks ago about this shift in mission and in purpose. And again, I was really afraid that everybody would want to leave, because obviously it's a little bit different to what I thought it was going to be. But actually what happened was everybody in there said, oh my God, this is exactly what I need. I mean, of course they did, right? That's how this stuff works. So I didn't have any reason to feel afraid. And so we have been dropping deeper into the purpose over there already. Now, if you would like to join us in the members club, I'm going to put a link in the show notes for you. You can join us currently for just £25 a month. And if you get in at that rate, then that rate will never change for you. So even when the price goes up in the new year, which it will, the people that get in at that lower rate right now are going to be kept on that low rate for the duration of their membership. So basically, as long as you remain a member, your price won't change. We have weekly coaching in there, and that is intuitive coaching now with me, done online in a group setting, via live stream in a private Facebook group. There are also monthly masterclasses, and the next one we have coming up is on the 15th of November with Leah Steele. Now, Leah has already been a guest on the podcast. Leah helps people deal with stress, overwhelm, and burnout. And I mean, it's just perfect. It's just perfect because I think those are all things that we experience when we are not living life the way we're supposed to. So it may be that you have no idea that you even had a soul purpose, or perhaps you do know that you have a soul purpose, and perhaps you even know what that is, but you're not living it fully. You're trying to half-ass it. You're trying to just do a diluted version of it. And I'm here to tell you that's not going to work. And so if you've been feeling stressed out, burnt out, overwhelmed, anxious, any of those things, that's the reason why. So the masterclass with Leah is exactly what you need, and it's just perfect timing. And as I said, that's coming up on the 15th of this month. And then beyond that, we have more masterclasses lined up. The masterclass for January is all about tuning into your intuition. So that is vital and it's key. So make sure you get into the academy before that masterclass launches in January. We also have a very special one lined up for December with Jamie Sarah, another guest on the podcast as well. So there is so much coming up. I'm so excited for what has happened over the last couple of months and for where we're going. I want to let you know that the free 30-minute intuitive confidence coaching calls are still available. So again, I'm going to put a link in the show notes for you. And if you would like one of those calls, please click the link, book yourself in, and it would be my pleasure to help you. Beyond that, I'm offering one-to-one coaching, and some people have signed up for that already, by the way. That is ongoing coaching with me on a one-to-one basis. I can coach you wherever you are in the world because it's all done online. So again, get in touch if you would like more information about that. And launching on Monday, the 12th of November, is my first group coaching program called Rise. And it is exactly for you if you feel like there's something bigger you're meant to be doing with your life, but if fear and anxiety and overwhelm have been holding you back, then Rise is for you. It is a group coaching program, so the investment is significantly lower than if you were going to work with me one-to-one. In fact, it's just £177 for the entire program. It's going to run for 10 days, and there is daily content going to be going on. So that means daily live streams / audio trainings from me to drop you fully into purpose and to build your unshakable confidence so that you can step up and claim your mission the same way that I have. I want to tell you, the minute I first of all acknowledged what this was, and then accepted that that's what it was, and then acted on that nudge, the minute I did that, everything shifted. And actually, my first client signed themselves up. In fact, to be very transparent, I was offering at that point only the free calls, and somebody messaged me and said, I know I want to work with you. I know I want to coach with you. How do I do that? And I didn't even have a link set up. I had to cobble one together really quick. That's how fast this stuff can work. So if you've been feeling stagnant, stifled, stuck, like you can't put one foot in front of the other, like no matter what you do, you're just spinning your wheels and you're going round and round and round, I guarantee in that free 30-minute call with me, we are going to drop you fully into purpose, and then you're going to feel those shifts instantly. So get involved. If you want one of those calls, click the link. If you want to join me in Rise, click the link. Like I said, it's £177. In fact, I'm feeling like to make it even more no-brainer, I'm going to set up a payment plan for that. So if you need a payment plan, if you would like to pay over a number of weeks to help break down the cost and to make it even more affordable and to give you a lower starting point, then get in touch and ask me. I will be happy to do that for you. So let me know. And I think that is everything for now. I am going to commit to bringing you a new episode every Friday to begin with. That may be an episode just with me, or it may be with a guest expert. I still have a number of guest experts lined up with awesome information. And obviously, just because we know that the anxiety is a sign that you're maybe not fully in purpose yet, it doesn't mean to say that you still don't need tips and tools and techniques to help you manage these feelings of anxiety and overwhelm. So I will continue to bring you the guest experts that I have been doing for the past year that have been bringing so much wisdom, so much awesome content for you so that you can manage these symptoms for yourself. So don't worry, that's not going anywhere. Now, I would really love to know if any questions have arisen as a result of this episode. If you do have a question, then please get in touch with me. You can email lilybadcock@gmail.com. You can click that link in the show notes, or come and join me over in the Confidence Academy podcast Facebook group and tag me in there. Ask me your questions. Specifically, let me know if there is anything you would like me to create an episode around for you with this new direction in mind. So let me know how I can best serve you. It is vital to me that I help as many of you as possible, because truthfully, the world is going to become a better place when we all realise what we came here for, and when we are able to step up with no fear to do that. And that's what I'm here to help you do. So if you would like my help, please do get in touch. In the meantime, please share this podcast with everyone you know who you think would need the information that I'm sharing here. So many people are struggling with their anxiety. So many people are struggling with feeling stressed, overwhelmed, frustrated. I'm here to help you move beyond that, get back to creating the epic life that you came here to live, because it is possible for you. And remember, confidence is yours as soon as you choose it. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to be back very, very soon with another episode. In the meantime, let me know what you thought, and don't forget to leave me a review if you loved it. Thank you so much. I'll be back again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.